I learned something new this week about how to defend the corner, and it's a kind of a corner setup that I've talked about before, so I thought I would share this with you guys. I learned this from a video that was done by Michael Redmond and Chris Garlock for the American Go Association, and I'll put a pointer to that video at the end of this one so you can go check out the original. These American Go Association videos are very interesting, I think. Michael Redmond is a 9-dan professional. Chris Garlock is an editor and I think an amateur player, but he seems pretty good. And they've been going over the games that were played by AlphaGo online recently. I think it was a couple months ago. AlphaGo played a bunch of games and defeated a bunch of top professionals, actually won 60 games in a row, and he was using the name Master, but rather than AlphaGo. But they pretty quickly figured out they were playing a strong AI, and so the professionals tried different kinds of things against it, but had no luck. And so Chris Garlock is. Michael Redmond is going over these games. He's very interested in how Master plays. He calls it Master instead of AlphaGo, but it's really the AlphaGo program. And so a lot of interesting things have kind of cropped up there. So it's a good set of videos to go check out. I'll give you that pointer to the one of them at the end, and then you can find the rest on their channel. So let's talk about the corner situation that I wanted to look at. This is a game. This is one of those 60 games. Master AlphaGo has the black pieces, and Lee Ken Cheng, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's a 9-dan professional, top player. So let's go. Yeah, this is the corner situation I wanted to talk about. I've said before that when you have these 3 stones in the corner, that you've turned this into territory. But of course, a statement like that is always dependent on what is around those stones. And when black has played these 2 stones, then this is not territory anymore. In fact, black always has the invasion here at the 3-3 point, and that's kind of we'll get to that and show that invasion later on in this video. I just wanted to make that general point that you start with these. If you start with these 3 stones and you've got the territory, this is a stone on the 4-4 point, a knight's move in one direction and a diagonal move in the other direction. That turns that corner into your territory and it can't be invaded. But if black has got a couple of stones here, then an invasion is possible, and we'll see how that happens. The other interesting thing is that this situation, well, first of all, let's show how it arises. It arises in kind of a natural way, how you might get into this kind of situation. White just has, it was early in the game, white has a 4-4, a stone at the 4-4 point. Master approaches, and normally the most common move is to back off, but the kick is an option, particularly when there's not a lot of room for this stone to expand in this direction. If there's not a lot of territory for black to build, then that's a reasonable move to kick it. And black normally responds by building a mini wall, a 2-stone wall, and now white backs off. And then black also backs off. The most normal move, actually, that black has been playing has been this 2-space jump here. And this gives it, some territory here, or some space to make eyes, I should say. But it's considered a bit cramped. So in this particular case, this outcome would be considered good for white. So AlphaGo, or Master, has got the black pieces, actually makes a further jump and makes a sort of it's a combination of 2 moves. It's a jump off of these 2 stones, and it's also a shoulder hit on these stones. And so that's an unusual move. And a way maybe for Master to get more value out of this situation than normal play would allow. But what I wanted to point out next is that the play continues. I'm jumping ahead, and notice that these stones, these 5 stones, have not changed at all, and they don't change for a long time. So that means through all of these moves, I think, all the way up to this point, let's back up, both sides have decided that they're going to just leave this corner alone, and they're playing elsewhere. At any point in this time, black could have jumped into the corner and taken that corner away from white, but also at any time white could have played here to secure the corner and also to threaten to take away eye space from this group. And so it's just interesting to me that they would just leave that sitting there. I guess the rationale is that they've always got bigger or more important things going on. But finally, we've reached this point in the game here at move 66, where white decides that it's time to defend the corner. And he can't find anything bigger on the board, so he's just going to defend the corner. And this is the move that defends the corner, and that's what I wanted to talk about in this video. This is a very interesting move, and it's not the way that I would have thought of defending the corner. Like I mentioned earlier, I would have defended the corner by playing here. I think that's kind of a natural way of just extending one stone in this direction. You've walled off this corner from the invasion on the outside or any connection from the inside to outside. And at the same time, you're threatening maybe to come in here and erase these guys. So erase the eye space. So it's perhaps a Sente move. You know, black maybe needs to respond to that. So it was surprising to me to find out that that this move actually defends the corner, and I just wanted to show how that works. So first of all, let's try this branch. Say white doesn't defend the corner at this point, plays down here. This file, this SGF file I'm using of the game, this was actually created by Michael Redman, and it's on the website of the American Go Association, so you can download it from there if you want to play around with it yourself too. They do that with all of those videos of the Master Go series, the Redman review series. He annotates the files and or creates these variations, so you can check them out afterwards, or even during the videos while you're watching them. Okay, so let's take a look at this branch, and this is white decided not to defend the corner, and black jumped into the corner. And now the first point is that white needs to block on this side to keep this stone from connecting up to the outside. And that extra tempo there is probably why this invasion is successful. Secondly, black tries to escape on this side, white blocks, black extends, white blocks, and now black plays a stone here trying to make a life. So I think I just wanted to talk about, in general, how do you defend against an invasion like this? I think this is a good example. There's kind of a two-stage process. The first stage is you need to make sure the stones don't escape. So you have to kind of block the outside to start with. So at the very first, after the very first move of the invasion, you'll see that white started blocking on the outside, and the next three moves were all blocking moves. Sometimes you can directly go for the kill and just try and attack that stone. But if there's any way that stone can escape, then you're not going to be successful. So the first thing you have to at least check is there any way for that stone to escape? And if there are possible ways for him to escape, then you've got to block off the exits. So stage one is make sure the exits are blocked. And then stage two is you start taking away the eye space of that group once it's confined. And so that begins with this Hane. This is a very important move to force black to play inside this territory and try and still, you know, black is trying to make an eye here and maybe an eye here. And so you have to stop that. And so you jump in here. This is going to, if black doesn't block, you're going to extend further and take away any eye space in the corner. So he has to block there. And then you jump in here. And so this looks like you've been successful, right? You've blocked it on the outside and you've taken away all the eye space. But let's go forward one or two moves here. Black continues to separate, and you know, if he still gets a couple more moves, he has, you know, these three. You know, there is potential for one eye here and maybe another eye here, if he can manage it. So anyway, white. I'm going forward. White extends once more. So now there's no eye space here. This is all just one eye, and so that group is definitely dead, but it escapes, and it escapes with this cut. So that is why, even though it looks like you successfully contained it and took out the eyes, this invasion actually is successful because of this cut. If you shield on this side, that's the first branch that Michael looked at, then black plays this stone. He extends once and then plays this stone. And what you see is that these stones are dead. These stones are captured over here, and then this group is alive because it's broken out to this side. And then the other branch if white plays here and blocks, or just extends on this side so that these stones can't be killed, then black hanes over here, and then this is actually a capturing race that black wins. Black can capture these stones here before white can capture these stones, and black will break out on this side. Now it took me a while to figure out what was going on here, but I did work out one example. This is where Michael Redmond's commentary left off. So he just said this is a capturing race. In fact, actually, he used the word semi-I. And so I just wanted to point that out. If you hear me saying semi-I, this is a semi-I, he means a capturing race. That's the one downside of these videos, is that Michael Redmond does tend to use a lot of Japanese words to describe these things. He trained in Japan, so he trained professionally in Japan, so he naturally uses a lot of Japanese words to describe things. And of course, a lot of Japanese words are commonly used to describe Go situations. But in English, I think we would normally call that a capturing race rather than use the Japanese term semi-I. Okay, so how would this go? It's white's turn to move. And the one path I looked at where I thought maybe white would play like this, right? It attacks these 4 stones and puts them in Atari. So black needs to do something. If he connects, actually, I think he runs short of liberties. So I was trying this idea. And then white surrounds on the outside. And now it is black's turn. And black can start counterattacking. These 3 stones just have 2 liberties. So you can attack them and force them to connect. And then you can attack again on the outside. And now you see this whole group. You can see why this is a capturing race now. It wasn't clear to me at first, but by now it's starting to become clear. This whole group of stones only has 2 liberties. And now, well, it's white's turn. White can attack in here, put these stones in Atari. But they can connect this time. They can't play back immediately because of the co-rule, but they can connect. And now you see that this black group has 3 liberties, and white just has 2. And if white attacks this group, taking away 1 of the liberties, there's still 2 liberties left, and you can hane here. And now white can't actually continue the attack. If white plays here, that also shorts white of a liberty, and black captures that whole group, and white can't play there. So those stones are now dead. Black has successfully captured that group. So that was just one example variation. I would say, Michael Redmond just stopped at this point and said after the hane, there's a capturing race that black should win here with good play. So let's go back to the actual game and look at that move in the game again. So in the game, when it was white's turn to move here and white decided to defend the corner, white played the move at f15. And that, if we follow through the same variation where black tries to invade, we do the same thing. We block on both sides. But you see this stone, Michael marked that stone. That's the extra stone we have in this case. And there is no cut. This cut here was where the black stones escaped. And now you can see this stone is working to stop black stones from escaping. And so now when black goes through the same sequence, let's see, let's continue on in the exact same way. Black goes there, and yeah, white jumps in here to take away eye space on that side, and jumps in here to take away eye space on this side. And yeah, the variation ends there. This group is just dead. There was one other thing that black could try here. Instead of blocking on this side, he could also try to jump out on this side, but still, well, white jumps in to kill the eye space over here, and once again, black has to block in this direction to keep white from extending into the corner, taking away that eye, and then white can jump in here, and once again, this group will die. So that is, let's see, he had a couple more moves here. One there, and then, yeah, plays in there. So similar kind of thing, getting those 2 stones together so we can't get this bent 4 into a shape with 2 eyes. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting. And also, I just wanted to point out those videos. So I'm going to put up a pointer to that video I referred to right here, and I will see you guys later. Bye.